This one concept has changed the way I have been going about on social media, the way I'm acquiring leads, and is going to be the most crucial aspect for where social media is heading in acquiring clients for your coaching or info-led business. And to give you insight on where things are heading, it's actually selling in the DMs. But in order to do that, you have to have prospects coming to you pre-sold. Otherwise, you'll never be able to close in the DMs. And it's that one concept that has changed my entire systems and how I go about systemizing my acquisition here on social media. But how do you get to this point where you're collecting serious cash while not having to do sales calls? I have clients like Oscar here who has closed 19 clients that are all paying him anywhere between $2 to $5K a month. And he did it with a 70% close rate. As well as my client Dallas, who's consistently getting 15 to 20K every single month with a 80% close rate, meaning these people are pre-sold coming to him. And even myself, I get DMs like this all the time. And fun fact, you're actually looking at the reigning champion of closing deals in the DMs. I used to be scared of taking sales calls, and I've actually closed a lifetime value deal over direct messaging that was worth $70,000. So I know what I'm talking about when it comes to closing in the DMs. I consider myself the champion at it. If you're anything like me, you do not like talking to strangers day after day, trying to sell them on you, your product, your service, and you know it can really help them, but you're just getting riddled with objections. I did not like that process. And trust me when I say this, business and coaching becomes so much easier and so much more fulfilling when someone hops on a sales call and they're already ready to go, right? They're pre-sold and you're turning that call really into an onboarding call, which is great. And the good news is where social media is going, the only way, like I was saying before, to sell high ticket is having prospects being pre-sold, coming to you where you can then eventually be closing them in the DMs. Because the way the market is so warmed up right now, good luck. Like good luck convincing somebody to pay you $6,000 to $10,000 on a call if they're not already in the mindset of moving forward before they even hop on that call. Like it's just not going to happen. The market is way too warm to the game that is being played. So in this video, we're going to be going deep into this concept of pre-selling and the environment that you need to create on your social media to sell people into your high ticket program, as well as the systems that are needed in order to consistently bring in inbound leads, pre-sold, no sales calls, and eventually selling in the DMs. Now, if you don't know me, my name is Brett Foley, and I've helped out some of the biggest online info sellers in this industry, building their back-end funnels, working on their content systems. And my mission here is to help over 1,000 coaches and info sellers scale to $20,000 a month. But for now, let's get into how to develop this pre-sold system. Okay, so going over this pre-sold system, it's really a couple of key elements that you need and systems that, form a bigger system to really make this situation where you're getting DMs just like this. Hey, Hussein, see you in a bit. We're about to hop on a sales call. Did you have a chance to go through the docs? Hi, Brett. How are you? Yes, I went through it. I'm really excited to work with you. This guy already knew the price. This guy already was ready to be sold on the call. So when we did hop on that call, I honestly could have sold him the DMs, but when we did hop on that call, it was an onboarding call. I collected payment and we turned it into an onboarding call. But fair warning, there is a number one rule for closing in the DMs. If you have not taken at least 100 plus sales calls or closed 20 times for your offer, then you cannot be selling in the DMs. You can't be the Giga Chad like I am selling in the DMs. You have to build things up. You have to hop on sales calls, and it really has to deal with your offer. So if you want to know how to create a killer offer for 2025 in this coaching business and this crazy marketplace that we're in, you can check out the link in the description. There's a whole entire video on that. And the essential thing is that you need to understand the deep desires and the language needed to create magnetic marketing in your content that provides firepower for you to close in the DMs. So if you don't meet this rule, that's totally fine. Right? If you haven't closed over 20 people or taken 100 sales calls, that's okay. We can still create a pre-sold system, which I'm about to show you here, that has you closing deals left and right on sales calls, right? Imagine a situation where somebody comes to that sales call and they're ready to go. They know the price, they know everything. Okay. And the first thing you need to do is ask yourself one question. Does your prospect have the right lens before they're hopping on a sales call? Okay. This is really, really crucial because here's the unsold lens, right? This is somebody who is unsold. They're hopping on the call to get a little bit more information out of you. They've probably been shopping around. They're not ready to go. And it's the lens that they're looking at is they don't entirely know you. They don't entirely trust you. They don't entirely know your offer. They don't know the ins and outs of it. They don't know what exactly your service is. They might know a little bit, but they don't know the entire thing. And they don't entirely see you as an authority, and they don't entirely line up with your messaging, meaning that they're not qualified. They might not be the right prospect for you to sell in. And that's the lens that a lot of people are experiencing right now when they're taking sales calls. That's the lens that the prospect is looking at you or looking at your sales reps on that call. So what you need to do is understand the pre-sold lens. Okay, it's basically turning these things into the opposites. When they're hopping on that call, they know you. They trust you. They see you as an ultimate authority. They know exactly what your offer is, and the messaging completely aligns with them. The way you create content, the things you talk about, all align with what they're doing. Okay? And when you accomplish this lens, this is where you get situations where your prospects here, your followers, are saying to themselves, I have to reach out to this creator for help. Okay, and that's when they reach out to you inbound and they're already pre-sold. But how do you create that situation? How do you create that in their mind? How do you, whoever's following you, right? You need the right systems and the right content to be able to have themselves ask them that question. Be like, I need to reach out. Do I need to reach out to this guy? Yeah, he's doing everything right. He's my exact guy. I know everything about him. So he has the authority, all that stuff. And they need to be in the right lens. And the best way to do that is to stop using funnels and switching over to an ecosystem, okay? Because the problem here is that a funnel is too straightforward. It requires lead volume, and it's heavily focused on a sales-based conversion. A lot of sales calls, you're just looking at the numbers and how many people can we get on booking a call through this straightforward process and closing at a 20% close rate, right? That's what a funnel is, and it's very numbers orientated, as I was just saying. But what this is leading to, it doesn't lead to this pre-sold situation because you're going to get a ton of dead / forgotten about leads. You're going to have to keep up with the volume, right? It's all numbers based. How many people can you wedge into this straightforward process? Or you're going to either have to keep on paying money on ads to keep up with the volume and your ad costs are going to freaking skyrocket. Or if you're not doing ads, you're going to have to keep on relying on going viral, which can be very difficult because you're tailoring yourself towards the algorithm. That often doesn't attract the right person when you start creating content for the algorithm. And we'll talk about that in a second. Or, to keep up with that volume, once again, you're going to have to do a ton of outbound strategies. Right? You're always going to have to hit people up outbound. To me, I see that as a waste of time. So much better when somebody comes to you inbound. Okay, and the ecosystem is a situation where you are lead maxing. Talk about that in a second. You're creating a community environment. With lead maxing, it's really just kind of what the title says, right? You're maximizing every single lead that comes into your social media environment, or what I like to call it, an ecosystem. So you can have a situation where you only have 4,000 followers and you're making $20K a month. Very doable. We have clients that are currently doing that right now. Very possible. And it's because they lead max with a ecosystem. It's not a straightforward process. You're creating a community / environment, and it's way more leverage because of that lead maxing thing. So this is leading to a low following, but making a ton of money, not relying on the algorithm, not relying on sending God knows how much money into ads every single month. And you have a high close rate because of an ecosystem. You sell in the DMs and there's no need to go viral. So if you want to learn more about the full like breakdown on how the ecosystem works, click the link in the description. There's an entire video breaking this down for you and how to implement it into your business. This pre-sold aspect is a part of it, and that's what we're going over in this video. And to highlight it, this is the simple system that you need, right? I'm going to just give it to you right here and right now in order for you to have pre-sold leads coming to you, okay? So you need the perfect following system. This is getting dream viewers with organic and paid content. And since you're building that ecosystem out, it is, you're not, your ad costs aren't skyrocketing. You're not having to go viral. You're lead maxing there. Magnetic content. You need to give insights versus value, trust XP, authority XP, and then the conversion part, which is the inbound environment. Okay, so let's take this and understand the inbound environment that you have to create. So going back to this situation here, how do you create an inbound environment where every single lead that is following you, everybody who is ideal, is getting prompted in their head from the types of content you make, the systems that you run, the environment that you're creating that's causing them to go, I have to reach out to this person for help. Totally opposite from you going outbound. The mindset in the prospect is way different. And when you get a situation like this, when you create that environment, that's where you get the inbound pre-sold. And part of it is this ecosystem that you need to create. And really, it's also understanding the lead maxing situation. Because the key is to be there when the time is right for each prospect coming in. Okay. Some people will convert within 0 days to 1 month. That actually happens, which is great. But most will convert in 1 month to 2 years. Okay. These are the people who are really going to convert. So if you're having a funnel and you're not creating that environment, you're not having them in the system, they're just going to fall out of it. And that them building up the situation where they then have to think like, oh man, I have to reach out to this creator. That never gets built with a funnel. Okay. And not running the right systems, but so most of them are going to convert in that, after that 1 month to 2 years, and you have to be there at the right time for the prospect. So you have to create an inbound environment that is you showing up at the right time for these people. Okay, but before we begin to even understand that environment, you really need to understand the thing that comes before it, bringing in the perfect follower into that ecosystem so that you can build out that environment. Okay, so you need to be bringing in prospects who are dream followers. They're a dream follower when you can answer this question. Can this person potentially become a dream client and a case study? If the answer is yes, they are a dream follower of yours. And typically there's like 5 qualifications that we're looking at for a dream follower, and how we know, we're measuring our following list, and we're seeing, how many out of 1,000 followers, how many of them are a dream follower. And this allows us to put more time and attention to those types of people. But what we're looking for is their responsiveness, where they're at in their journey. They know what they want. They're not confused on their direction and would just like some help and guidance to get them to the thing that they know that they want, right? Those are the qualifications that we're looking for. And you should only be focusing on people who have 4 out of 5 of these qualifications in your ecosystem. All your time and energy and effort should be going to them. There is no point in attracting anyone else. We're really shifting here on social media in this whole info coaching space, where in 2020 to 2024, you could go viral, you can have that funnel, and you can rely off of volume. The shift is now focusing more on having the perfect following. So I'd much rather have a situation where I have 1,000 followers who are all 100% ideal than 100,000 followers where 1% of them are ideal. And that's a lot of situations that coaches and creators are in at the moment. So where they have a ton of following, but they're not ideal. That's why we're also seeing people who have the dream followers maxed out, We're seeing them, only having 4,000, like one of my clients, Dallas, and they're making 15 to 20K a month. Very realistic. So the shift that you need to make right now is that you are here to build a business that helps people, not a business that's a vanity project, right? You want to help people. You don't want to just be giving away things for free. So you need to begin to think about, right? How do we attract dream followers? What is the content that pinpoints 5s out of 5s or 4 out of 5s, right? If you're going to make that one specific piece of content that attracts the right person into your ecosystem, that's all you need to create. You need to learn how to develop that. And we'll be talking about that in a second. And you need to have frameworks and systems that consistently bring in 4 out of 5s, 5 out of 5s, dream followers into your ecosystem, right? You need to have a system where you put $1 in and you get 20 people into the ecosystem that are all 4 out of 5s or 5 out of 5s, okay? So 4 out of 5 dream followers in your environment equals lead maxing, as I was talking about before. And it goes back to the timing thing, right? 5 out of 5s, the timing is now for them. That makes them basically a 5 out of 5. And then 4 out of 5 is the timing might not be now. These people end up really like just booking a call right away, whether it's from YouTube or they actually just come inbound without too many of the systems that we need. But for the 4 out of 5s, you need to begin to develop be there now systems. Okay. You want to take 4 out of 5 followers, put them inside of your ecosystem and retain them for as long as possible. The goal is to pop up in their feed, their mind, their sleep when it's time for them to take action, because they'll eventually want to. They just might need a little bit of time. It might not be the perfect time for them. That's another reason why funnels don't particularly work, because you're forcing somebody to get on a call when it's not the perfect time for them. It's much better having be there now systems. Okay. And those be there now systems are the chat openers. Okay. You need to figure out, is it the right time? You need to have conversations with these people. So you need to have an opener, hitting them up when they follow you, discovering if they are a 4 out of 5 or a 5 out of 5. Then transition them into figuring out what their problems are, their current situation. And then you present the idea of them needing help. Okay, so the chat openers begin to allow you to discover. That's how you can be there now for the 5 out of 5s. And this lets you know that this other person's a 4 out of 5. With that, there's some systems that you can then use to put them deeper into your ecosystem so that you're always there now. And that's using IG Story Sauce. Okay. And this is a system where you find out when they're ready. Okay. You have trust in your story, you have authority in your story, and then you have a CTA where you're calling action for them to come to you. That's the find out when they're ready system. Then you have organic systems, the magnetic messaging. The messaging that you put in your organic, the types of videos you create, when you post them, how you post them, that gets you as a magnet and they're coming to you. And then finally, the community ecosystem, right? You're putting them deeper and deeper into the ecosystem, right? The chat openers find out where they are. The IG Story Sauce finds out when they're ready. The organic system makes them want to come to you. And then the community ecosystem puts her deeper into that where they are seeing you more and more and more. And all of this just like boosts itself up. Okay. And they need to be thrown into that. And for the community ecosystem, there's another video on that. It's often good to ask yourself why you're not pre-selling. If you're having sales calls at the moment and you're getting a lot of objections, they're not like pre-sold, or you are trying to figure out your sales calls process, this is going to be super valuable for you. So you sometimes want to ask yourself, why isn't this happening? Because it leads to your answer. Okay. If you want to be closing your dream followers in the DMs or getting a 60% higher close rate, it all starts with understanding the reason why people are sold on sales calls in the first place. Okay. And it's because of this trust gap here. On the left, we have the prospect who has 0 trust XP. They might have booked a call and they're in this unsold state at the moment. On the call, They have a gap of trust that needs to be built. This is the number one reason why people buy from you, is because they trust you. They trust that the system's going to work. They trust that you're going to get results. They trust you as the creator, as the coach. Okay. So on that call, you need to do things that develop trust. You need to get the trust XP to over 1,000. And that is when the client becomes sold. If we take a look back at this, like the reason why you have frameworks on a sales call is to build up that trust. So looking at prospect where they're at zero trust XP, they don't fully know you, they don't fully trust you, they don't fully understand your offer, and they don't know who you've helped. Okay, that's going back to the lens of somebody who is unsold. Okay, so on that call, to build up that trust XP, you have to have those frameworks where they fully trust you, they fully know you, understand your offer, and know who you've helped. And that is what gets them to be sold. That's what gets them to pay you over $6,000 on a call. Okay. And that's the pre-sold lens we're looking at, fulfilling on that. So now you should be asking yourself, how can we do all of this without doing it on the call? Okay. And that's where the pre-sold intersection happens, right? Where you create content and systems where one, that ultimate trust is developed, that ultimate authority is developed, they understand your offer all before they are hopping on the call. Okay. And this is a system of content that walks them up this trust XP ladder to where they have 1,000% or 1,000 trust XP points. And then they're hopping on the call. That's not happening on the call. Okay, so when you get the lead to walk up the Trust XP ladder in the middle of the pre-sold intersection, right? They're in that pre-sold intersection. They then begin to become inbound, and you need magnetic messaging as a tool to accomplish filling up the Trust XP. This is where you need them to be in the middle here. Now you need to start using magnetic messaging that will fill up that Trust XP. And that's a tool to do that. It's a tool to walk them up the ladder through your content and through your systems here. So going over to magnetic messaging, okay? To understand magnetic messaging, this is the tool that you use to draw prospects in, right? No outbound, no initiating the sales convo. It's what you say in your videos, what you do in the ecosystem that you're developing. And if you're developing funnels, it could be like that too. What are you doing in the funnels that you're developing? It goes super deep. So the best way to develop magnetic messaging is insight versus value. Okay, magnetic messaging doesn't happen when all you're doing is just providing value. Okay, and what this is you just giving steps in your content, whether it's YouTube, whether it's Instagram, whether it's ads, right? You're giving the steps of how to do this certain thing, right? This is how you get your 6-pack abs. Step 1, have this nutrition plan that I'm giving you. Step 2, do this workout plan that I'm giving you. Step 3, do this cardio exercise I'm giving you, right? That is the what. That's value type of content. Insight kind of content is the why. This is why you should be doing this cardio routine. I'm not going to tell you exactly what it is. So the process, what it looks like here is the people who watch the value content, they go, let me try it. And that leads to them leaving, right? They just got free material that they want to then implement, which causes them to not want to reach out to you. Okay, that is the result you're getting when you create value type of content. When you start switching your content to insight type of content, it's the why, and then that causes their belief to be shifted. Okay, and when you cause somebody's belief to be shifted, they're going to want more. They're going to want to know how to implement what you were just talking about. Okay, and when they want more, connection is established. You're seen as the leader. You're seen as the ultimate authority, which is necessary for somebody to reach out to you and inbound. They trust you more because you shifted their belief. And you're starting to build that community. And that is how you get somebody to become inbound. And you want to implant this throughout your content systems. Okay, so some of you guys might know the God here, Russell Brunson. He has his offer stack, right? This is what you're going to get. This is the value of it. This is the ultimate pre-sold stack. So this is the thing that I'm coining here. This is where you stack on top the 4 out of 5 ecosystem. You have them coming into your ecosystem. Number 2, you have ecosystem retainers, the be there now stuff. Number 3, the pre-sold intersection, right? You understand that in order for your prospect to get in that lens of being pre-sold, they have to be in this intersection, and you use number 4, magnetic messaging, as a tool to accomplish this, okay? And when you do this, when you stack all of this together, you are in what I like to call pre-sold paradise. And pre-sold paradise is where you have a 60% close rate. You got inbound messages happening every single day, and you're selling in the DMs if you so choose. And when you get good at this, right, pre-sold paradise is also when you automate and systemize this entire pre-sold stack, okay? So going to it, closing in the DMs. You have a whole entire system like we have that is reserved for our inner circle members. It's a system with automations and frameworks that you can then place into your DMs that just sells in the DMs for you, completely automated. You have 4 out of 5 finder systems, right? And this is a simple ad strategy that just consistently gets 4 out of 5 stream followers into your ecosystem here. And we give you the plug and play for the people that are in the inner circle. You got the ecosystem retainers, right? Simple plug and play ecosystem retainer and ecosystem immersion for lead maxing, right? The be there now stuff. Okay, how do you systemize that? We give you that to plug and play, right? And we give you some ManyChat sequences that capitalizes on the be there now, putting people more and more and more into your ecosystem to where they become pre-sold. And then you have a pre-sold intersection and magnetic messaging frameworks that is used as a tool throughout your content marketing, as well as throughout all of this stuff here that gets more and more people pre-sold. So when you stack all of this together and automize it, you are in pre-sold paradise. Okay. So to quickly reiterate, what we brought you through here is this journey of knowing how to attract the perfect follower and why. You want dream views with organic and paid ads, having magnetic content, so insight versus value, getting the trust XP going and your authority XP going, as well as conversions, right? The inbound environment that you need to create to get people pre-sold. Now, if you want more detail on the ecosystem, more about me and how all this works, a little bit more in depth, go ahead, click the link in the description. There should be a video in there covering the entire ecosystem and how all of this works together. With that, I'll see you in the next video.